Hey, what's going on, y'all? First, there's my moon, everybody's moon. Let's pay respect, y'all, to the moon. Sorry. Well, I believe she's on my right, would be your left of me. So that kind of makes sense, I guess. Subconscious mind. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, maybe I'll keep shooting like this with the moon there. Maybe she'll help me with some ideas. So, I want to give y'all a secret here today. And the title of this video might be not controversial, but maybe it's meant to get people to watch, I don't know. But is the secret why secret societies, secret magical groups such as Golden Dawn or any secret order, whether it's a Blood Dragon or Temple of Astarte or Astaroth, or there's all these different temples and orders. I want to give you the secret of why their systems work, why they have people that want to get in them, why people pay to go into them. That's what I'm going to discuss in this video. Why these fucking systems work, why their systems, why the shit they say and do, why you pay big bucks to get in them, whether it's the Masons, whether it's fucking anything, whether it's Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation, the curriculum I'm currently doing, whether it's the Klipoth. I'm going to tell you why these motherfucking things work. That's what this video is about here today. So that's what you want to hear? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to get into it. But first, I want you to understand a few things. When you do path working, when you do the Tree of Life, Klipoth, Tree of Death, the Klipoth, I believe, is something you shouldn't try to at least learn about if you're doing the Tree of Life. Just as, depolarization work, as something to help depolarize you, as something to study to know what the other half is doing, I guess, so to speak. It'd be like if there was a book out there telling you the Illuminati, this is what they do. The Masons, the presidents, any person who's in a high-ranking official who's taking the world apart, destroying the world, this is what they use. Would you not want to read that if there's such a manual? Because this is technically what this manual is what they say they use. These dark, satanic, cult people are using something like this, and this is definitely dark magic at its finest, basically, from what I gather, from what I've read, even more so now than the first time. I don't know what the fuck I read the first time, because my opinion was completely, I'm mind blown right now by the stuff I'm learning from the Klipoth. It really is something that really helps you understand the true nature of angels and demons. Like, I've always thought that angels were probably a thought form anyways, but I never thought that the angels and the demons were so closely related and basically the same fucking thing. And it totally gives you that perspective when you start reading the Klipoth. So it's definitely a good read. If you don't know which part of the Klipoth or which book to read, because there's a lot of shitty ones out there. There's a lot of dark ones that are just there to scare people. Well, then I'll tell you which ones maybe I'm reading, and you can get a good feel for it. The one I read, it starts with, Crowley, basically telling you who's done it, where the Klipoth has come from, who was the one responsible for making it, and maybe what their intentions were. And basically Crowley was just trying to do the inverse of the Kabbalah tree, and he didn't finish it before he got hooked on heroin and whatever else. And we'll say what you want about Crowley, but I still like the man. Obviously he was a heroin addict and kind of lost his marbles in the end, and is what we're told, but maybe he was a successful magician, and we just don't get to know that because you don't want people becoming magicians, because if you do, you'll be successful like Crowley. So let's tell everybody he's a junkie. And I'm not saying that's accurate. Bunch of racers. I love it. It's dangerous as fuck, but they're all racing down 10th Street right now. Some Gran Turismo shit. One of those motherfuckers will end up dead. No, I shouldn't say that. Fuck. Oh, I reject that thought. I banish that thought. I deny that thought. And I accept that all those racers won't. All those racers will be free from harm, as will any other cars on the road will be free from harm as well. I will be. So mote it be. Harm-free. Corey LeBlanc. Alright, sorry. I didn't want you guys to hear my magical name and whatever else. I just don't want to wish that upon anybody. I forgot to draw my fucking sigil. Shit. Anyways, that was fucking weird, but it is what it is. So, nice close personal fucking view there, eh? So, the secret of why these things fucking work, why they have success, why people pay to go in them, why they're popular, why people read books about the Golden Dawn technique. I mean, Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation is highly taken from a lot of Kabbalah traditions and works. Hell, most of the books you have to read, like you have to have the Golden Dawn textbook written by, I think it's Levi or it's Israel Regardie, I think both. You have to have multiple books from these guys, and it's literally the fucking textbook for the Golden Dawn fucking class. So, you know, I'm basically doing a version of the Golden Dawn class, and it's just Liam Thomas Christopher. So basically, I don't know. I never read up on Liam Thomas Christopher, but I'm assuming that what he did was he did the Golden Dawn, and then he came up with a way that people can do it faster. That's more original, not such the same as the Golden Dawn. Maybe he asked them for permission to publicate his, so people will get into magic and maybe not do the exact one as that. I don't know. But I think the dark tree is important to do because it's got extra sephirods that we don't know about. And basically what happens is you can think you're depolarized, and you can literally be just going around the nodes of the moon, back and forth, and not ever really getting anywhere. It's still stuck in this realm. And I think that happened to me definitely the first time I did my first initiation. And who knows, that could be happening right now. I don't think so, but it could be. Nonetheless, there's a lot of good information within that book. Books. There's two I'm reading, like I said before. Anyways, I'm trying to stall and talk about stuff before I go, but it's kind of hard. I'm working right now, so I'm not really in this setting where I can just be freely and talk, because, you know, it's only me and another guy here right now, and he's inside working, but, you know, just, you never know. So anyways, what I'm going to say is, after I'm done work, y'all are going to get the secret, but you're not going to know I'm done work, because when you get this, it's going to be all together. But, you know, I always say shit like that. Another thing is that my work is so fucking hot. If hell actually existed, I think we got him beat, bud. I think the devil ain't got shit on my plant, bud. We're so fucking hot. Oh yeah, happy Canada Day, y'all, to all my fellow Canadians out there, and anybody who isn't Canadian. Happy fucking Canada Day, in whatever country you're fucking from too. Happy whatever fucking day you guys got, because truth be told, I'm a fucking human citizen. I'm a witch and a magician before I'm a fucking Canadian. But I do like my fucking country. I think my country is top notch. One of the best places to live, bar none. But I've never lived anywhere else, but I've been to the States, I've been to Cuba, I've been even other provinces, but yeah, that's basically it. So I don't really have much experience, but out of Cuba and the States, I totally picked Canada. So yeah, anyways, see you guys after work. Alright, just so everyone knows, on my Facebook as well, there's a PDF on there for Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation. In the next few days, I'll be putting on the Financial Sorcery, Sorcerer's Secrets, and potentially one of the clip-off books I'm reading. I haven't decided which one yet. And yeah, I'm gonna get into that secret really soon. I'm just trying to figure out how to go about starting it off.
To understand the methodology of the suppression of the 1. The 10 archdemons or demon kings, the rulers adverse to the Sephirot. To understand the methodology of the suppression of the elder gods, known in Akkadian texts as the Anunnaki, in Essene Enoch as the Anunnaki, and in later Latin Catholic doctrine as the Grigori, one must first be introduced to a brief bit of history. The eldest Homo sapiens skeletons have been found near modern Israel, ancient Canaan, particularly in what is now southern Turkey, just north of modern Iraq, elder Babylon and ancient Sumeria. This may have been the location of the literary Eden of Hebrew lore, known from Assyrian tablets as Eden or Eden. However, the first wave of civilization came to the Fertile Crescent several millennia later, when the Kurgan tribes people migrated through from the Siberian steppes. These pale-skinned people had been depicted as the blue race of Aryans after having left the Indus River Valley, and brought with them on their migration route through the Middle East the high technology of the wheel as well as codified set of laws. They established walled cities outside of which agriculture was prompted to cultivate the rich soil of the Tigris, Euphrates and Nile River basins, and inside of which monumental building projects were commenced. Initiated the ziggurats of Sumeria and the first pyramids of the Old Kingdom in Egypt. They also had their own set of phonetic ideograms, which were a far more advanced form than the mere pictographs used by the resident herders. Then, as quickly as they had come, these Aryan Anunnaki Kurgans vanished. The Sumerian tablets clearly indicate that there was a war between the people of the western territories in Egypt and those of the northern Akkadian Empire of Iraq with the southern Iraqi Sumerians. However, the Egyptian records of this event, if they ever existed, seem to have been lost. The legend is largely preserved through the later Babylonian Empire of unified Sumer-Akkad. There are other records, however, preserved throughout the lands of Egypt, amongst the Hebrews, the early Babylonians, and as far east as India, China and Japan, which explain the sudden loss of the power hierarchy due to another event, a catastrophic flood. Ample evidence of this cataclysm, whether it be attributed to a war in the heavens as in the old Sumerian records, or to a flood as is the general consensus of the surrounding areas, exists in the geological record, where we find naturally formed tektites of glass smelted from sand across the delta of the Nile as far west as the Sahara, as well as evidence of a sudden deposit of silt 10 feet thick in Iraq reaching as far north as to the peat bogs of Great Britain. Whatever happened, it seems that something wiped the past slate clean, and left the urbanized primitives to begin again, without the guidance of their mysterious benefactors. Some of the nation states maintained the sacred bloodlines of these Kurgans intermarriage with the native peoples, and these bloodlines ruled more or less despotically even amongst the nomadic tribes such as the Hebrews, teaching that one day their now disembodied past idols would rise up and return. However, it would not be long until Greek republicanism spawned the first non-bloodline empire, which was responsible for the most severe repression of the royal bloodlines to have ever occurred before or since, subsuming the priestcraft of the various nations, such as the Hasmonean heresy of the First Maccabean uprising in Judea is but one minor example. The Roman Empire has established itself as the elite ruling power of the ever more unified planet. Nahima, Queen Shub-ed-Aver, the rightful Yamanamu, was the sister of Baal of Sumeria, and of Appi, a Hyksos king who ruled from Thebes. In the legends, she is known as a descendant of the royal bloodline of King Cain, son of Ka with Enki. Her 3 brothers conspired against Senkir-Tau, a pharaoh of Marduk, another son of Enki, and murdered him. As an Ammonite, she was the matriarchal grandmother of Lot, from whom the line of David would be sired. References: Nahima is the demoness of impurity, and the mortal mother of the demon king Asmodeus, whose father was Ashamdon, a Yazidic archangel. Savadau, 71. Namriel is the Manichaean name for the mother of Adam and Eve. Jews also called her Nahima or Nama, a serpent mother classified with Lilith. Walker, 718. Nama is one of the 4 angels of prostitution, all mates of Samiel, the other 3 being Lilith, Eshuf Zanunim and Agrat, Igarath, Bat Malat. Nama is the mother of the devil Asmodeus by the angel.
Right, hello, are you gonna fucking start? Alright, hey, what's going on everybody? So the last little clip that I played was of the thing I was talking about my last video about the Grigori being the same as the Anunnaki, being the same as the Anunnage. Anunnage was from Acadia time, Anunnaki is from Mesopotamian, Babylonian, Sumerian time, and Grigori is our time, which now I'd say Grigori was for the last 2,000 and some odd years, and now I guess we'd be calling them gods again and or demons. So take a pick. Prior to that I was talking really low, and it's because the baby kept waking up after work last night when I came home. I was all set to record when I got home. Kitchen, I was gonna go low and just turn out my volume after I recorded, and no such steps, because every time I started talking she would start crying. Not because she could hear me, probably something deeper than that, but nonetheless I didn't record last night, so I'll have to do it now here today before work again. Man, it's already pretty fucking humid outside. I mean, it's gonna be fucking dick sucking hot in my fucking work. I don't know if dick sucking makes you hot though, but I'm guessing it does. Makes you fucking, pretty warmed up, especially the girls who know how to do it. They know what they're doing. My wife knows what she's doing. She's not doing it right now. She's so pissed off at me for some reason. To hell if I know why, but you know, whatever. I love her, whatever. My girlfriend hates me, and I don't know why, but whatever. For whatever. I don't know, something like that. Tom McDonald song. It's a good song. Everybody hates me. The beginning of it, check it out. It's pretty funny. The first time I heard that song with my wife in the car, I fucking sang it to her. And she looked at me. She's like, "Well, if you don't know why, I'm not gonna tell you." I'm like, "That's the fucking point he's trying to get at." That crazy bullshit. But anyways. I still think females are the stronger gender, and I still think you guys are going to rule the world, so I don't take any offense to that. Anybody who thinks I'm being rude to women, I am not. I'm simply just stating, I don't know why my wife's mad at me. Nonetheless, the secret. Now, the secret isn't just for all of the secret services, the secret, the elite, fucking, what are they called? Secret fraternities and secret lodges, and you know, like Freemasonry and Skull and Bones, and not just for that, not just for the Golden Dawn, the order of the Temple Order of the Golden Dawn. It's not just for this. This is for anybody selling programs that deal with getting stuff into the subconscious mind. Anybody trying to sell magic, witchcraft, anything like that. The reason things will work. This is an all-encompassing secret for all those things. Alright, what's going on, y'all? This is Corey LeBlanc. You know, the guy who's been making this video all along. And I'm acting like I'm just starting a brand new one, even though I'm not. So, the secret of why magical systems work in general, not just synonymous with any magical system, but every and all magical system. Reasons why. The reasons, I don't know why this thing keeps cutting me off, but the reasons why magical systems work are as follows. But first, before I get into that, let me get all my shit ready. I gotta drive to work. I gotta hustle my ass down there so I'm not fucking late, yo. Bullshit. We're always late for work. It's brutal. And that's including the 3 minutes grace period they give us. If we punch in 3 minutes late, it's okay. Just like I'm allowed to punch out 3 minutes early. Like I said, my work takes care of us. I've never had a job where they've actually taken care of us so nicely. Let us do what we want. Let us take breaks when we want, as long as we want. Punch in and out kind of whenever we want. Take days off whenever we want, give or take. With some reason, obviously. I think it was a profit sharing check at the end of the year. We get one halfway through the year. I mean, it's an amazing job. I've never had one like this before. And it is just a job. It's not something you have to go to school for or anything like that. It's just a job. But it's one of them lucky jobs that you get that you're set. It's federally owned, which is one of the reasons there's so many liberties and why you're allowed to do so much. I'm going through it, so guys, I'm going to be late for work right now. Oh, it's totally a red light. Oh well, it's all good in the hood. No cops there, hopefully. I don't need more of that bullshit. But anyways, so I know there's a bunch of things I'm supposed to talk about before I talk about why this works. But path working. Look it up, do your research on it, find out if it's right for you. I think everybody should do path working. Same thing with the clip off. Put away your judgments and your preconceived notions and all the shit you've heard about path working. Put that all aside and just try to think if it's for you or not, okay? Figure out if, the clip loss is for you or not, okay? Because truly, when you do the clip loss, you are descending into the dead. You're going to hell. You are killing your old personification, and you're taking on a bunch of different deities and whatnot, and you're going to do path working. We're going to take on this the demon and or angel of the Sephiroth that you're working on. And that's a good thing. That's what you want to do. It's going to help. And it truly does change your perspective of everything. This is how you actually do the middle path. Now, all this right or left bullshit. I'm the left hand, I'm the right handed path. No. Both of those are unbalanced. Middle path is the true only path. Now, can you get there just by doing the tree of life? Absolutely. It all depends on the practitioner. It depends on what you need to do. That's why I'm saying I'm not telling people to do the Tree of Life. I'm not telling people to do the Tree of Death. I'm not telling people to do the Clip-Off. I'm not telling people to do Kabbalah. I'm simply stating what I'm doing because I think I need to do it. I'm doing the Tree of Life right now and I'm getting results. But in all honesty, the results I'm getting are not necessarily from the Tree of Life, except for the whole depolarization thing I've been actively working on now for like 4 years now. And that is all because of both Greater Xavier and the book Kabbalah, the Great Work of Self-Transformation. Had it not been for that, I probably wouldn't have the success and be able to manifest things when I want. Like I said, Birch said this it was probably close to like 8 months ago. I watched a video. I think it was one of his Ask Uncle Birch's, where he's talking about, after a certain amount of time, and he's been in the game for a long time, and I even made a video about this. I haven't been in the game or a witch or a magical practitioner nearly, not even like a quarter of a length of time that Birch has been in it. But I know what he was talking about for some reason. I resonated with it when he says magic isn't something like you do, it's something, it's a way of life. Meaning like you could be sitting there at a bar, but you'll think of something, you'll get insights come to you that you're going to talk about in your next episode, or something you need to bring up. Also, things you want to manifest, you're going to do in your head right there while you're at the table. You're gonna banish stuff away. You're gonna do a spell. You're gonna come up with spells, and when they work, you're gonna write them down in the book, in your grimoire, in your book of shadows, in your journal, whatever the case is. You're gonna write them all down. And when you do this, sorry, bud. When you do this, I just passed by a cop, son of a bitch. Anyways, this is what he means by it's a way of life. And it is a way of life. We are manifesting our life as we go. Now, the Clip-Off talks about shadow people, your shadow self, your shadow side, how to see shadow people, and how to do different exercises to see the shadow self, the shadow people. And what I like about that is the fact that they explain that this is kind of like your subconscious mind. This is maybe what's around when you're sleeping. This is, anyways, but while it was being explained to me, while I was reading it or listening to it, I was getting these pictures in my mind of the shadow people. Whenever it was basically like telling me the shadow people that we see out of the corner of our eyes are extensions of ourselves. If you are seeing shadow people, whenever you do scrying or crystal ball or trying to see the other realm, if you're trying to do some kind of divination, maybe it's not even divination, maybe you're just trying to, what you do is you use your peripheral. You focus on, like I said, my grandmother saw people's futures through tea leaves and the cup. Now I don't know if she had water in the cup or not, if she emptied it out or not, but I do know black cups with a little bit of water with a person's saliva and stuff in it, you would be able to use that because it's bended. That's why you do a black mirror. A black mirror, you still see a reflection, but it's darker. It ignites it. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, it works off of your peripheral vision, and it's the vision outside of what you're technically focusing on something, but you're not. So your eyes are looking in a direction, but you're seeing everything else around. Kind of like when you're driving. I'm looking at the guy's license plate right now, but I see these two signs here. I see the ground, I see the sky, I see the upcoming lane, I can even see my rear view mirrors, okay? But yet I'm still focused on that guy. The more you practice that, the better you get at that. And I mean, that's just good for life in general. Whether you're playing a sport or working or playing video games, your peripheral vision is better, it's better. What comes with that is seeing fucked up weird things. But these fucked up weird things that you're seeing are part of you. There's nothing to be scared about. These might be the things that create your reality. These might be thought forms that you created. I don't know. But the way the Clip-Off describes it, instead of leaving you with more questions, it actually gives you quite a bit of information and answers. And it's very enlightening. Now to know that, I'm in the kitchen last night and all of a sudden the hamburger buns that were stacked up on top of each other that no one touched, that I didn't even go near, they fall down onto the cupboard. Right? They fall off and then they fall on the floor about 5 minutes later. No one was around it. There was no wind in my kitchen. There's no window open. There's no nothing. I don't even have a door on that level except for the front door or the back sliding door, which are both closed. But it's not like anybody opened or shut those. But even let's say if the window was cracked, there was no way for air to get into that corner. So what did that? Well, it was something that I was learning about that I needed to know exactly, like that point was important. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't hear what they said, so I rewinded it. And then that's when the fucking thing fell down again on the floor, was whenever I found the exact spot that it wanted me to hear. That's an important part, you know? Sometimes these messages come, and maybe that's not even right, but for me, that's the only thing I could like kind of connect the dots of why that happened. These little things happen like that, but before I used to be scared shitless of this. Not only that, but the clip off likes to explain that, where your fears are, it's your power. So whatever you fear, that is going to be your power. That's what the shadow side is. That's what your subconscious is. It's all kind of connected to that. I mean, it's not all what it is, but it's all a part of it, basically. So wherever you're polarized in fear against, you know, the opposite being what you're comfortable with, well, that's going to be where your power is. So as soon as you can face that fear, you're going to be a fucking monster. You're going to be so ahead of the game. It's going to be unbelievable. So the goal is to face that fucking fear and get this shit done so that you can thrive instead of, you know, being a victim, basically. But anyways, it's time for me to work, so I still didn't get into what I want to get into, but I still gave you quite a bit of good info there, so I hope you enjoy and have a great fucking day. Alright, so speak of the devil and he appears. Let's talk about what's going on before I get into my secret I want to share with y'all. Last night, middle of the night, 1 a.m., 1:30, something like that. I'm in the living room sitting down. Cat comes upstairs. The cat play. She's scared of me. I'm always the authoritative figure with the animals in the house, the dog, the cat, the kids. They call them animals too. So I'm a scary one. Meaning, cat likes me. Cat likes me, especially if the cat's hungry. The kids are going to feed the fucking cat or something like that. When the cat comes right up to me and starts purring and going on my leg, I know it's fucking okay. She hasn't eaten in a while. So she knows I'm a caregiver. She knows I'll fucking eat with her. So that's why I don't think it has anything to do with the cat, but you never know. Because, you know, cats are very spiritual. Cats are very meditative. I don't know, meditative is not really the right word, but I know cats meditate and they go like in the astral and do shit like that. Too many weird coincidences and stories and things I've seen with cats to not believe that. But, and I'll make my point why I think that may not be the case. But nonetheless, so the cat knows I'll care for it and all that. So the cat comes upstairs and, you know, I'm just not in the mood sometimes for cats to put their claws on the couch or for cats to play. You know, I just finished work and the wife's going to bed. I'm not getting any for another night. So I'm a little cranky. Laying there on the couch, decided to trying to figure out if I'm going to keep working on my video or not. I screen recorded a couple videos to add to it. Because I want to talk about Yaldabaoth, which is the word that I thought started with a J when I was talking about the God of the Bible, which is the Gnostic Archon creation from the Archon Sophia, which I love that fucking name. I can't see that Archon being evil whatsoever. I think Sophia is philosophy. I think that's where it all comes from. I think she helps you in knowledge, and the fact that she's made demon eyes and just another woman demon is just fucked up. Yeah, we don't talk about all the guy demons. It's always the worst thing in the world when there's a girl demon, but when guys are demons and it's all male demons, it's like, wow, they just expect that, I guess. Anyways, I don't know why I'm such an advocate for women, and I hate the fact that women be demonized. Could be my two little girls, could be my wife's rough life. Maybe it's just me trying to save all the fucking women, which I know is a stupid fucking thing to try to do. But most women won't save themselves. They're just like any other person, you know. They get hard-headed, they get stuck in their own mind, they're not going to fucking do anything for themselves, so my wife has proof of that. But anyways, so last night after I listened to the whole Yaldabaoth thing that I'm going to put on here and I'll talk about after this little segment I'm doing right here, cat comes upstairs and there's some bug spray or something left on the couch, like looking at it like, fuck, why did the baby start spraying this in her mouth or something, like, fuck, dumb. So I grab it, cat comes up in the living room, I pretend to shoot at the cat to scare her, right? Cat runs downstairs in the basement, main level, basement, upstairs. That's my home. All of a sudden, smash, big fucking glass shattered, like fucking loud as fuck. Okay, so that tells me if something fell from pretty fucking high. Now there's a couple glass things in my baby's room on top of her fucking shelf, on top of her fucking dresser, that could have did the equivalent of that sound. So first thing I go is I'm thinking it's in my daughter's room, but it wasn't. I didn't even make it to my daughter's room. My wife's coming out of the room, like looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what kind of magical bullshit are you doing now that you're breaking glass? I'm like, I didn't do anything, babe. I didn't fucking, that's not me. We both look in the bathroom, and I had this candle holder in the bathroom that I used to use for my daughter's baths. And when I was in the bathroom, so I didn't have to take something off my temple, because I didn't always like bringing something from my temple in there, just because, you know, I know how sacred my temple is and shit like that, and I don't like fucking around with other people and my energy and shit like that, because there's always weird stuff that happens with my room, my temple. This is why I want to go to, that's why I'm changing rooms. But there's always weird stuff that happens when other people touch any of my stuff. But anyways, so maybe that's happened, and everybody's just telling me, no one touched your stuff, but maybe someone did, and they don't want to tell me because I'm going to give them a lecture. Weird shit happens every time, and now they even have the proof that weird shit happens, and they really don't want to tell me. It could be just simply that. But anyways, so after I scare the cat, the minute like I fucking go to throw it, cat runs downstairs, I go back to look at my phone and smash. So this little candle, it's dollar store fucking item. It looks like a lamp. Because in the neophyte grade, you're only supposed to have like a lantern or a lamp, right? So my wife gave me this, and she was going to say this is the equivalent of that, which, you know, it worked. I used it. It's not the lantern they want like hanging from the ceiling where you put the candle in. But I mean, it's still a lamp nonetheless, and it works. So it's like a little lamp, and you put the candle in, and the lampshade is all glass around, but the candle just sits in between there. If it's a really big candle, it's going to stick above. So I always use the little smaller ones or tea lights. I think they are made for tea lights. That's the candle holder I just use in the bath. Is there a little bit of wax still in there? Yes. But generally, I get rid of all my wax. I burn it in my cauldron, especially when I save a lot of my old wax from spells that I know aren't dire. Like anything, I was just asking for knowledge, for wisdom that I don't need right away. Things like that. You know, I'll save those for a day where I don't have a candle in the house. I haven't gone to the store. I don't have money, maybe. Sometimes that does happen. Few and far between lately, but it does still happen. Yesterday was one of those days where we didn't want to touch anything in our bank account. So basically, we had no extra money in the one account to use. So we go without. So we don't touch savings, which we don't have much savings, but at least we have savings. And I know it may not sound like much, but we just had to pay $600 and some odd because of this stupid impound fee. So, you know, that's saying a lot, still having money in there. But anyways, so yeah, the lampshade off of that candle holder hit the fucking ground. Now, it was in the bathroom. Bathroom light was off, and normally if the light's on, there's a fan there. There's a light right beside the shelf. Actually, you know what? The light was on. The bathroom fan sucks air out. It doesn't push air down. So anyways, this thing is on a corner shelf. At the top part of the shelf is about a foot from the ceiling in the bathroom, and the second shelf is about 2 feet, and the bottom shelf 3 feet. 3 feet's at my head level, okay? So like I'm the only one that could touch that one. The other two are higher. Not that there was anybody there. My youngest son was all the way downstairs in the basement, and he's shorter than me, about a foot shorter than me. And my baby was asleep, and my wife was in her room. Like, she was sleepy. She woke up from the sound of the smashing glass. So this is on a shelf higher than my head, where I don't even think the cat could get to. But the cat ran downstairs. The dog was in the kitchen. My baby and my wife are the only two on the top floor. And all of a sudden, that bitch falls down. And I haven't checked, but unless we had an earthquake that I couldn't feel, and she was right on the edge, and it rumbled down, and psh, that's fucked up. And this is just an example of what I'm talking about, like yesterday with the fucking buns falling. You know, that's not so weird, but this is glass breaking. Glass breaking, some say, is a sign of curse, but if that thing breaks and then I start thinking I'm cursed, then I am cursed. Now, if someone is trying to get me via psychic attack, or it's just a nature spirit, I pissed off because I did kill a bug right before that, you know, and I'm always a little leery about when I kill bugs, but I always have this rule: if there's bugs in my house, I'm still going to make a candle, but I'm not going to not kill them, depending on the bug. Now, I was upstairs, so at night, opening up the window means more shad flies in than it's worth to shoot the bug out. But during the day, I generally try to save the bug, and I shoot it outside and tell them, don't come in my house again, because if it's nighttime, I got to kill you. But anyway, so I think I killed 2 bugs, and at work, there was a big fucking moth, man. Just came out of nowhere, like size of a bat, man. I swear to God, it scared the shit out of me. I was trying to catch it in a bucket to bring it outside. I think I might have hurt it when I tried to scoop it in the bucket because it fucking flew so fast. So I kept trying. Anyways, but yeah, so I don't know if that's what this is. Some nature spirit's pissed off. Like, yeah, here's a fucking warning. But here's the thing, because the way the cap is on the candle holder, it sits inside where the candle goes, right? So it's like this little. If I get a chance, I'll show you guys it. Okay, but the thing sits inside the candle holder. So for the top to come off and hit the ground, yet the other part still be there, it makes no sense. Because if it would have just fell off, it has to come up and down. You know what I mean? It's so strange. So, you know, some people will say because I have all these dark books, even if they are on my phone, technically the sigils are in there. Maybe I've went through the sigils. You know, it doesn't matter. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be scared of this. I was laughing. And here's the thing, like this is that kind of shit that would have freaked me the fuck out before, but you know, didn't freak me out at all. I made 2 candles. I offered one candle to the earth and fire spirits, and I gave the candle to the water and air spirits, and the water and air elementals, and the water and air elements, and the water and air archangels, and the water and air archdemons, and the water and air planetary energies, and the element obviously itself. I did that for fire and earth as well, all the same thing that I just said, but the archangel, dark demons, the fucking whatever. And I offered an apology and as compensation for the great life I have. And that's it. Both slept like babies, woke up, nothing weird's happening. You know, you just never know. But a simple gesture like that can change from holy fuck, I'm cursed, and looking up all this cursed shit, putting it even deeper in your mind. Or you simply light a fucking candle, offer it to whatever you think you pissed it off. If you're gonna do research, try to research what the fuck you pissed off. And then now I'm no longer cursed, or you know, I didn't take something small, something trying to get my attention, and change it into a curse, which it might not even have been meant for, or it could have. Someone could have sent me something. All I was able to do, because it can't affect me with all this shit on, right? But it can affect my reality. It can send me a sign. Is when you start seeing reoccurring signs, like you keep hitting a bird keeps hitting a fucking window. A bunch of flies keep coming to this one spot. Maybe you keep getting the same smell. There's always dirt in this one pile, or you can't light a candle somewhere. Anytime you keep getting this reoccurring weird phenomenon that you can't explain, it's something trying to tell you something. So, right here, this thing, I caught this yesterday before I even came home, and the little clasping I have that holds both of these on was coming apart. And I tighten these bitches myself. All my own jewelry, like I don't make this chain, I didn't make this chain or this thing. But when it comes to little clasp, when it comes to adding pendants, when it comes to fixing this chain when it breaks, I do all that work myself. I'm very good at very small things. I got a nice little process for a big magnifying glass and some custom-made tweezers I made. I'm very good at this, and I tighten this up tighter than what the fucking company makes it, okay? This is a real chain. These are all silver, mostly. Yeah, they're all silver. Silver's got a lot of protections. Gold, it might be silver. It might be silver-plated gold, I don't know. I can't remember now. It's probably silver-plated gold, though, because silver, I think, offers more protection than gold, believe it or not. Which is why it's overlooked, and they want people to get gold more than silver. But anyways, so something's trying to get a hold of me and trying to tell me something. You know, like the night before, I thought the hamburger thing was trying to tell me something specific about what to listen to. I listened to it, and then the next day this happens. Now my wife even heard it. Now it's one thing for something that happened in my reality for me to hear, but for something to wake up my wife, she wasn't scared, thank God. I thought she might have been a little shaken. She just kind of shook her head, and she was awake until I got into bed. I can hear her wrestling around, and she's out like a light snoring. She was wrestling around, so she might have been a little on edge, but overall she was okay. And you know, I put wards up beside my bed, besides my baby's bed, around the basement door for the other kid, for Owen downstairs. I put wards up, or like I said, around my bed, and a few other protection things. Don't ever light sage at night unless you really have to. If you just have to use the sage, don't do it at night. I'm not convinced that sage does cast anything out of your house, unless it really doesn't like the smell. But anyways, yeah, so that was pretty cool. So real quickly, this is the item I'm talking about. So this is the candle holder that looks like a lamp. And you know, if I was to reattempt to put this back together, it would be, oh shit, you know, something to that effect. I'm missing some of the pieces, but this was the candle fucking thing that went around the top like that. So what I'm saying is, you know, it literally goes around it. I think it sits on the inside, but anyways, it was literally up on a top shelf and had to come off. And I'll show you the shelf where it was on. Right there beside this.
Oh, yeah, it's gold. Give me the gold.
So yeah, that was the shelf that I just showed you real fast there with the gel, or sorry, with the face shaving cream was on. So anyways, so what's inside here right now is salt water that has been consecrated to specifically remove the negative energy of all these things, because I can put this in my garbage, but if that's on my property, I put these shatters in my garbage. If it's still on my property, it can still cause havoc. It can still follow the next person and shoot something else in the garbage, and treat negative energy and entities like they are viruses, like COVID. There's not much difference between a negative entity or negative energy and the flu or COVID. Cancer would be more of not so much a virus, but anyways, technically I shouldn't even be doing this on the table either, so I'm gonna have to fucking clean up this table. But I still have some salt water in the house that I was using for the floors, and I'm gonna dump that shit off my property, as am I gonna do with this after I completely cleanse this. This is gonna go in the garbage after it's cleansed. This is gonna go back on my altar though, because I'm gonna use this. I'm not gonna not use this now, especially when I know some energy or entity has been able to touch it, affect it. This water that's on my fingers now as well, I'm gonna cleanse that off, and then I'm gonna go record the rest of this in the car. But I just wanted to show you the thing that broke last night that no one was around, to tell you that your subconscious, the thought forms you create in your mind, and or whatever, shadow people, entities, energies, fucking ghosts, poltergeists, whatever you want to call it. It goes by different names, but all those different names do signify something different, and you can use and harness those things. But until you do, things like this can happen, especially if it's something like a nature spirit, earth elemental or water elemental, fire or air elemental, the elemental being the spirit of the earth element. So everything that's in the earth element needs protection. So in a small way of talking about karma, if you go and fuck over, you kill a bunch of bugs, you're polluting, you're cutting grass, maybe even sometimes, you can piss off nature spirits, earth spirits. So give them a candle, give them an incense, and say you're giving it to them to smooth it over, maybe as compensation for all the wealth and health that you have. Even if you don't think you've had those things, well, fake it till you make it, and then maybe you'll get it. But give an offering and say you're sorry, basically, and this stops happening. So yeah, that's just to show you what the fuck was going on. Yeah, so real quickly, so that's the candle holder, that's the shards there. And like I showed you, the shelf was on, but I didn't really give you the height or anything, so I guess I'll give you a better perspective, if possible. And then I'll get into the secret and all that shit. So yeah, let's zoom out. There's my floor. Alright. So right now where the camera is at my shoulder length. Let's see. Shoulders, head, right around shoulder length. So I keep going straight from my shoulder length. Right? So see, it's right above my shoulders. This is more like the shoulder length right there. Let's go with that. So my shoulder length, this is the shelf I get. There's the next shelf up, and this bitch was up here. So in perspective, the thing that flew down and broke last night with nobody around was that high. All right. So just so you know, there's my height. I'm above the mirror, and that thing's above there. So obviously I can grab that. Even my son could grab that because his head's up to my shoulder. So if he reaches up, he can touch the top shelf like this. He ends up going up on the toilet there to see if I hit anything up there, if anybody's hit anything up there, because he's very curious like that. But so yeah, pretty amazing for that to come out of the inside. Now, it might be just sitting on the top. I'm not positive. I don't remember. Now that it's broken, I really don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, so, very cool when shit like that happens. Don't be scared about it. Just roll with the punches. Be like, you know, something's trying to talk to me. I'm trying to get my attention. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a dead ancestor, or a thought form thereof of your family member, or your dead ancestor. But it doesn't mean poltergeist, doesn't mean ghost, doesn't mean haunting, doesn't mean cursed. It will if you let it mean that. But it doesn't have to mean that. It doesn't have to mean that one fucking bit. It's all on what you make it. And people could argue with me at that point who were in magic and say, no, too much glass starts breaking, your glass starts turning black, you start seeing flies, everything starts going to shit, you're cursed. But then those same people will say, well, it's all a matter of perspective. You can think you're broke, but instead of thinking you're broke, you could be thankful for all the stuff you do have, and then good stuff will come your way. Then why can't you do that with this curse? Why can't you just take the word curse out of your vocabulary, and when things happen that would normally, or you used to think was a curse, why can't you look at the positives? And so it is. Meaning, well, I'm pretty lucky to have someone who's jealous of what I have to curse me. Therefore, I must be doing something right. I must be affecting people. Maybe it's elite people who don't want their secrets out, who are coming after me. That's pretty fucking flattering as well. That's awesome. That means I'm doing well. Maybe it's Christians who think I'm of the devil praying for me. And their thought forms, some of them might be powerful witches if they were to get rid of that programming. Who knows? And maybe it's those things coming here to talk to me. Maybe it's thought forms I've created that I've forgotten about that I need to delete. Maybe I didn't keep a promise. Maybe I was supposed to do something and I forgot all about it, and then life happens, and then no excuse, but you're supposed to write these things down. But, you know, lo and behold, I forgot about it and something's pissed off. All of the above. Understand that breaking glass, popping lights, things like that, mad entities, mad energy, mad thought forms. But for the amount of energy it takes them to knock over that piece of glass, that's as bad as it can get. Not necessarily like your life going into chaos and financial troubles, wife fucking around on you, shit like that. That's arguably worse than a breaking candle holder. But once again, it can't necessarily affect you physically. So to be physically as scared of these things like I was, no word of a lie, I'm not shitting anybody. I was so fearful of seeing a spirit. Even when I was a Christian, if I was to see the dead Jesus, even if he was all glowy and light and loving and not saying anything scary, but if I was to see that, or any of my ex-family members at the end of my bed, child, teenager, teen, late 20s, to like the beginning of my 30s, because it's not like I just started this path and it was obviously, I wasn't afraid anymore. Not the case. I had to have some run-ins to realize that these things aren't as portrayed on TV, and that took time to get over, because even though I can comprehend that there's nothing to fear, when the nighttime hits and there's something happening that you weren't expecting, obviously, because if you expect it, it doesn't really happen, but when you're not expecting it, then it starts happening. Well, the thing your subconscious seen the most was scary movie, kids, ghosts, as a kid, ghosts, clowns, fucking evil, dark, shadowy things mean evil, you know what I mean? That's been deeply ingrained in here, so you can consciously understand that all you want, but until you have enough experience, it's really not going to change the programming in here. So I got over it, thank God, and I realized that these things aren't hurting me, aren't trying to hurt me, and they can't. And as long as I don't do anything to keep pissing them off, then they won't put my life in disarray. And even more than that, I can continuously keep them happy, and in case I do piss them off inadvertently by accident, or hanging out with a bunch of people that I don't normally hang out with, and, you know, they decide to get upset over something I said or did, then, you know, I'll be thankful for all those candles I give them, because then they might think twice. All right, so I was going to get set to talk about Yalbadoth, which was A while ago, I talked about the Gnostic story of the 26 or 36 archons. Last one being Sophia, who created her own entity, which would be, I guess, a demon or an archon or god. And the name is Yaldabaoth, which ends up becoming Jehovah or Yod-Heh Vod-Heh, the god, of the Old Testament. And I wanted to talk about that because whether you believe in archons or not, Yaldabaoth is a real thing that you can use, an entity. And I found some more extra information that I think is quite enlightening about it, especially to the Christians, because people say archons are there, they're thriving off our fear, and I never really bought that, but there's something that kind of rang true about that. And I'm not saying what I'm about to tell you is all true either, but anyways, I'm going to do that in the next video, since this video is promising the secret. Now, the secret of why magical orders work, magical systems work, why you can sometimes not follow the rules even to these magical systems, but then once you know what the real rules are, things, you have to start doing it by the right way, depending. It all falls under the same rule, okay? The secret. When I'm saying the secret, I'm not talking about the secret like the movie The Secret, about manifesting your desires and all that, law of attraction shit, although it does work for that as well. The reason why the law of attraction can work for most people, the way they packaged it in that fucking thing. I mean, most people it didn't work for them, but some people it did. And the reason these things work, okay? Now, one reason that the more people that use a magical system, the more popular it is, the more likely it will work, okay? That's definitely something that comes into effect here. But you don't even have to have anybody. You can make up your own and have success. And the number one reason why these things work, why people pay big bucks to get in the Golden Dawn, or why all the presidents and everybody do Kabbalah, but they do Kabbalah, but they start with Qliphoth. Now, people aren't wrong when they say that Qliphoth is a draconian version of magic. It's dark magic. And then some people even go as far as to say it's Kabbalah is dark magic, who don't even know about the Qliphoth. And, people end up finding out that Masons, the President's Skull and Bone Society, all these different fraternities / secret groups are mystery magical schools. And they do these things. And this is why these people have success. But it's not because that... my eyes look cool. It's not like snake eyes. My green, brownish ass eyes. Look at I'm a draconian, baby. Yeah. Don't suppress your fucking, your reptilian nature. Don't suppress anything. Let it all free, baby. Anyways, the reason why they do use these systems is because they work. These systems work. They have a high success rate. And the way to become a balanced person, I'm not saying the politicians or the presidents or the Masons are balanced. I'm not saying that at all. I know that a lot of people get lost in the Qliphoth. A lot of people get lost in the tree of life or the tree of death, or both. A lot of people get lost in their own arrogance when they start being able to do things. Okay? So I'm not saying that they do these things and they become enlightened. I'm saying they start these processes and then they get their success, and then they just kind of ride it out maybe at a certain point. Maybe some continue, maybe some don't. But they do these things because they work. And the reason they work is because of the faith that you have. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter, sorry, that's wrong. It doesn't matter whether you think the tree of life works or doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you think the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram works or doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you think meditation works or not. Your opinion doesn't mean shit. You're allowed to have your opinion. And in your reality, meditation can be horse shit. Magic can be horse shit. Witchcraft can be horse shit. Kabbalah, tree of death, tree of life could all be horse shit. Your belief is not necessary. But the one thing your belief does do is when you have belief and you're believing in something that's within the rules of this realm, you can do anything within those rules of this realm. Meaning these systems, whoever created the Golden Dawn system, whoever created the Lesser Banishing Ritual, the pentagram, and the middle pillar, and the microcosmic orbit, and various Taoistic traditions, exercises, and rituals, just like different martial arts rituals. Kung Fu, man, there's Kung Fu types of magic that work phenomenal. I've studied a bit of it. I don't practice it, so I'm not going to pretend I am, but it's fucking cool, man. I would love to try it, but those kinds of things, I'm pretty sure you need a master to follow. You can read as much as you want about Kung Fu, and you can watch as much videos, but unless you have a master or someone to spar with, you know, because like I'm learning a lot about the flow of energy, microcosmic orbit. I do a lot of Taoist rituals and exercises to learn the flow of energy, so if the day ever comes that I can actually practice using someone's own energy or using my energy within a fighting situation, circumstance, that at least I'll have the groundwork in. But all these things, if the practitioner has faith, if they believe in what they're doing, if they believe it works, if they start this. And here's the thing, they say you can't fake belief, and that's probably real, but I fake, you can't really fake, is it belief? I want to say it's more like emotion. So Fredo Xavier, for example, for the how to win the lottery, he says you can't fake the emotion. That has to be genuine. So whenever you're trying to bring something in manifestation, he's like, this is why he can't win the lottery and why it's so hard to win the lottery using magic. And I've shown many times, and I'm still winning off the handle. I'm way above $300 now from that sigil I did 2 months ago, I want to say now, or at least a month ago. I said I was going to keep winning on bingo tickets, not in the lottery, but bingo tickets. And I can win on those bitches all the time, anywhere from $100 to just $3. But I always win. I mean, there are times where I don't win, but I buy multiple cards, and so I still always win every time I buy. And that's because I planted that into my subconscious via sigil first, so that I can get the faith. Because if I plant in in my mind that I'm always just waiting, I win on every ticket. Well, then once I start winning on every ticket, that programs me to have faith that I'm going to win on every ticket. You understand? It's a circle, and you have to manipulate this circle. Once you manipulate this circle, you can accomplish anything. So to get faith, to be able to have the emotion to fake the winning the lottery, you have to implant the suggestion into your subconscious that you always win the lottery. And fake it till you make it. Say it, affirm it as much as you can. Once it starts happening, that's your action, right? So you have your action, you have the thought, you have your intent, and then now you're putting your emotion into it, bringing it to life. So it's just going to keep getting bigger. You got to practice it to make it bigger, and this is how you get to that emotion where you can win the lottery, because you've worked on the faith aspect of it all. Well, the faith aspect is what carries the most weight. So if you've looked into magic before and you tried it for 2 or 3 days and nothing happened and you gave up on it, well, whenever you become a little more disciplined and you actually try it for real and start reading and doing the proper exercises, you'll come to find out that shit, there's some real to this. And then you'll lose faith, because bad things will happen, and then you'll try things and they won't work right away, and you'll lose faith, and then all of a sudden you'll stop, and those things will happen, and then your faith will keep getting bigger. But when someone starts one of those systems, pays a lot of money for one of those systems, it's because they've done the research and they believe in it. And the more you believe in what you're doing, the more real it gets, the more likely you're going to have success, the more faith you have. Okay? Belief in faith, belief systems. That's why belief systems can be so damaging and harmful to people, and why people are fucked right up. But in the same sense, if you harness belief in the correct way, there's nothing stronger than that. Ever fight against somebody who believes in Christianity or God or their side of the political scheme, or wherever they decide to plant their flag and fucking choose a side? There's nothing stronger than polarity that's built on belief. That's where you get the belief systems. It's a systematic polarity belief system that the person you can't get through to somebody like that. They can only see their point of view, and that's what makes us powerful. So when someone has that kind of belief in the golden dawn, in magic, well, when you believe in something that has endless potential, meaning you can create your reality, anything you put in your subconscious mind will filter into your reality. Whenever you have that kind of stupid belief that Christians have in God and Jesus, and the kind of stupid belief that people have in the political way of life and the law and the system and all that, when you put that into magic, into witchcraft and ceremonial magic, into whatever type of magic you're doing, then you are becoming that God that people talk about. Now, it's not a God in the sense of the word God means the Almighty, because in the story I'm going to show you, the thing I'm going to talk about in my next video about Yaldabaoth and all that, he became the God of this realm that the Christians believe. But he is an archon, and the definition that they're going to give for archons, which I think is closer to the truth, is archons are entities that don't want people to transform. They want to keep you blind, deaf, dumb. That is their job. Now, was that entity programmed to do that? Was that entity created to do that, such as a thought form? Maybe, probably. It's kind of where I'm going. But technically, when the people call it an archon instead of just a demon or anything like that, it tends to be something that's something else created. But even in that story where Sophia, she saw the All-Father, the All, create the realm that she is in. And she was so moved by him creating that she wanted to create something and be like the All-Father. I hope I didn't say he. I don't want to give it a gender because I don't know. Who can know? It's probably genderless. It doesn't follow our rules. We have to follow our rules. That's why people are going against the gender thing, you know, saying I'm not a girl, I'm a guy, I'm not a guy, I'm a girl. That's fine. Do that. If you're transsexual, you know, you got your own bag of issues, and be who you want to be, but you have to follow the rules of gender in this realm. And I'm not saying that to diss anybody. If you want to be a they or whatever one of your words, go for it. All the power to you. You have that right and you have that freedom, and I support you. Just try to stay within the gender rules, because everything has to be male or female. And if you're both, then you're both in your own new gender. You're Mercury, you're Hermes. That's fucking amazing. Good for you. That's awesome. But anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about that. I hate talking about that shit because I'm always worried I'm gonna offend people, and I don't want to do that. I want us to unite, not be separate. But where was I going? Oh yeah, so she wanted to create like the All-Father. So the All is in that story, and that's what created Sophia. And Sophia is the one who created the God of the Bible, who doesn't want people to open their eyes. He wants us all to be blind, deaf, or dumb. And you can call on the Spirit. It's an entity. We can command it. Yeah, it's the God of the Bible that the Christians are telling you to follow. And now everything that they're doing seems to follow that same rule. It doesn't want anybody else to transform. Don't use magic. It's of the devil. Everything bad is of the devil. We are perfect. We're going to heaven. You guys are all going to hell. They don't want anybody to transform. You know what I mean? It makes perfect sense to me. But anyways, that's the secret. The secret is when you put belief, the belief you have in your own abilities is the only thing. It can make or break you, basically. If you don't believe you're deserving of this, if you have any self-limiting beliefs, if you have any religious beliefs or programming in here, then you're not going to be able to fucking succeed. But if you believe in yourself, you can overpower those, you can overrule those. It's probably the only thing that can overrule programming is belief. More belief in what you're doing now than the program belief in there. Doesn't mean that just because you have so much belief consciously in the system that you'll be able to do it. No. If you know you have religious belief, and you don't even have to even know what the religious belief is, but if you know you went to a religious school and you went to church often and you're around people that talked about church constantly and Jesus and quoted Bible passages, well then you got religious belief. You don't need to go any further. And what you need to do is start every fucking day for this month, for this next 30 days. 21 days minimum, fucking 3 months maximum. At least, actually I'd say maximum of a year. But every day you need to listen to something that slowly removes that religious programming and puts in magical programming. And Frederick Xavier has just the video. It's the not so great debate. It's him against a Christian. It's more than an hour long. You listen to that baby once in the morning, once at night, as you're waking up, as you're going to bed. I'm telling you, in 21 days, well, I'd go with 30 to be safe, but you'll have that belief gone and you'll have the new belief put in you. That doesn't mean anything that's built upon that old belief might fall with that belief. So you might lose some other shit. So be careful. And if you can, try to brainstorm of all the beliefs that you think you may have. And the best way to find this out is where you're polarized. You need to go through things. You need to start watching opposite information on YouTube, on wherever you watch your information. Read books that you wouldn't ever read because you think they're horseshit and bullshit, and because it goes against your belief. And then you can start writing down all your belief systems, all the places where you're for, while against will help you remove that belief. And I'm not saying you need to do that in all aspects of your life. I'm just saying anywhere where it's money is of the devil, magic is of the devil, those kinds of things are going to stop you from getting money. And even doing healing magic, you won't be able to do any of that shit that's in your head. It's going to stop you unless you can believe in magic more. But even that, how do you believe in magic more? How do you have ultimate belief? Well, you put in Frederick Xavier's testimonials or anybody's testimonials about how magic's changed their life. You listen to that. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake. It is real, but it doesn't matter if it's real or fake. Just like watching Grey's Anatomy. That's not fucking real, but yet our statistics in life that they use on the show are real. Why? Because we all watch those shows. The collective knows that. There's more people that watch that show than there's people that don't watch that show probably, and that's in our collective. And so that filters down into our reality. Now it's real. You understand how this works? But anyways, that's the secret, the belief. As long as someone believes in it, it's real. That means it's in the collective as real. That means the more minds that jump on, make that system more powerful. But even if there's not a bunch of minds that believe in what you're doing, like ceremonial witchcraft, that's what I do. It's my own system, which is a hodgepodge of all these other systems. But it works because it takes from all these systems that actually do work, that people use. Therefore, I have a bunch of systems that work, that have other people's energy, and I use all that, and then I turn it into all one. So I'm able to use different types of magic simultaneously because I've rebranded it as a specific type of magic called ceremonial witchcraft. Anyways, I'm gonna start working on the next video since it's quiet. There's no one here, and I don't have to be in the car to record for once. So hope you enjoyed. Don't worry about the freaky stuff. Believe in yourself, and there's nothing you can't do. And the more you practice, the better you get at anything. That's just common sense, or it should be. And yeah, have a great fucking day.